Okay, so now I'm going to be showing you the chart from Venezuela. Okay, and this is what it said. This is what it says: 1 ounce of gold equals 418,421,540.07 Venezuelan Bolivar Fuerte, which, you know, for all intents and purposes, their dollar. All right, so it says 1 ounce of gold, as I mentioned, is 418,421,540. In the United States, at the time that I took this picture, it was 1,683.87. 1 kilo, or 1 gold kilogram, in Venezuela is 13,454,068,812. In the United States at that time was 54,143. All right, and now the cheapest amount of gold, which for the United States is $54.14. In Venezuela, the same gold is $13,454,068.81. All right, so why is it important that I show you that? The reason that it's important that I show you that is because every time in the prepper community we tell you that you need to have physical gold, that is the reason why. Okay, so you have heard other prepper channels, other preppers, other people talk about gold, and they say that you cannot eat gold, right? That is one of the things that always flies out of their mouth. But really, they're talking out of ignorance, because you're not going to buy things from other people with gold, especially people who barely have anything. Okay, what you're going to do with that gold is when the new government or the new system comes out and they start to trade currency for the gold that you have, then you can come out on top. Okay, you're gonna be able to trade the new currency for the gold, and from that moment on, you're gonna be in the system and you're gonna be better off than everybody else who did not have gold. Right? So really, gold is not meant to be traded in private, unless you find somebody who has everything that they need and they will want to get that gold from you. But what we learned in Venezuela, right? This is where you can learn what happens in real life and not just speculate. What happened in Venezuela is that people were trying to trade gold for goods, but it got to the point where everything was so scarce that people were not taking the gold anymore. You know, and that was pretty much in the black market, because what happened? The government outlawed gold. That's exactly what would happen in the United States. If a currency was to crash and you had gold, they're going to do exactly what they did. I believe it was in the 1930s, where they just banned gold. If you had any in the deposit box in the bank, guess what? It got confiscated. They're going to do the exact same thing. And even if they cannot confiscate it from you, they're going to make it illegal until they have the upper hand again with the new currency, and then they're going to let you trade with them. Now, another thing that we saw in Venezuela, you know, this is hardcore facts, not just speculation, is that if you're going to flee the country, you're going to take that gold with you. And then when you get to the country that you decide to stay in, then you're going to be able to trade, the gold that you have with that country's currency. And then you're going to be okay, you know, depending on how much you take with you. The point is that gold is very important for that exact same reason. Gold will preserve your wealth. You know, there's people out there who say that gold is just a waste of money. It is on an everyday basis where the dollar is strong and the economy is doing really good. Yes, it would be a waste of money. But when we're talking about something that we're seeing right now, that we're facing, that we're going towards Venezuela, that's when gold becomes the most important thing you have, especially when you're going to be trading the new currency. So that's why it's important for you to have gold, but do not make it the first priority, right? Because what we have seen, hardcore evidence in Venezuela and other places, is that the first thing that people suffer through is hunger. It's exactly what we're seeing right now, with these lines of people lining up for miles and miles, okay? So the only reason we're not panicking in the United States yet is because there's still millions of people employed, and even though there's millions of people unemployed, there's still help for them from the government. All right, so I want to show you the debt of the United States right now. All right, so what I'm using is usdebtclock.org. And as of this recording, okay, which is Monday, December 28th, it says that we are at 27 trillion 543 billion, 551 million, and the rest of the numbers are just, going really quickly. What you're going to be seeing is a steal. So let's just simplify it and say it's $27.5 trillion. That is a very big amount of money, all right? Even though in the article that I read to you, the entire global debt is $280 trillion, what we have in the United States just by ourselves, it's 27 trillion or 27.5 trillion. Now, I'm going to be showing you another section in the same website that it says U.S. unfunded liabilities. When you look at it, the number is even greater. It's $156 trillion, okay? If we cannot pay $27 trillion back, there's less hope to ever fund the liabilities, the $156 trillion in liabilities. All right, so here's the next important thing that you are seeing on your screen. It says liability per citizen. That just means the debt per citizen that they would have to pay towards the debt. For us to be able to pay off the debt, you would have to pay to the government $472,695. That would be for the whole, 328 million people that we have as the population. Now, I'm going to ask you this question. Do you have $472,000 to give the government to pay off the debt? I mean, I don't. Maybe you do, but I don't. Will you just give it up? Probably not. But if we go into hyperinflation, your money is going to crumble very, very quickly. So either way, it's not going to do you any good. It's going to do you good right now, but not later on, once we start seeing the collapse. Once it accelerates, that's when you're going to pretty much be sweating bricks. But anyway, so what I did here, looking at my notes now, I went and looked at Jeff Bezos' worth. See how much he is worth. And what I saw on Google, just doing a quick Google search, it says that Jeff Bezos' worth is $185.2 billion. So that made me wonder, right? The reason that I looked them up is I was thinking, okay, if we start to take all the rich people's billions of dollars, which would include Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, everybody else, just Jeff Bezos alone, how many people could he actually cover? We stripped his entire wealth, his net worth, all the money in the bank, all the houses that he has, everything. With his $185.2 billion worth of money that he has, or his net worth, he could only cover 392,885 people, citizens. So even if we strip all the wealth from all the rich people, we're still not going to make it to be able to pay off our debt. Okay, and the reason that I pulled Jeff Bezos' wealth is because, there's a lot of people right now who do not have not even $1,000 in the bank. So now that I said that, okay, because I want you to think about all of this debt, all the people lined up, we're starting to look like Venezuela. The only reason we're not freaking out right now is because people, the government is still funding some things with funny money.
The Man-Made Survival Show.